Hello and welcome. In this video, we will be discussing professional communication etiquette. This session is designed for newcomers and job seekers in Canada and focuses on the communication skills commonly expected in Canadian workplaces. Professional communication plays a key role in finding employment, succeeding at work, and building positive professional relationships. This presentation is by MCF Employment Services. Before we begin, I would like to acknowledge that we are meeting on the traditional unceded territory of the Wolastoqiyik, whose ancestors, along with the Mi'kmaq and Passamaquoddy nations, signed friendship and peace treaties with the British Crown in the 1700s. In this session, we will cover several key topics. We will begin by defining professional communication and explaining why it is important in Canada. We will then review speaking etiquette, email etiquette, phone and voicemail etiquette, text and messaging etiquette, and workplace courtesy. Finally, we will discuss cultural differences, common communication mistakes, and key takeaways. What is professional communication? Professional communication refers to how we speak, write, and interact in the workplace. It includes not only the words we use, but also our tone of voice, body language, and overall behavior. Effective professional communication helps build trust, demonstrates respect, and supports a positive work environment. These skills are learned and can be improved with practice. Why does it matter in Canada? In Canadian workplaces, clear and respectful communication is highly valued. Strong communication skills help individuals succeed in job interviews, perform well at work, and maintain positive relationships with coworkers and supervisors. Employers often view communication skills as a sign of professionalism and reliability. What is speaking etiquette? When speaking in a professional setting, it is important to speak clearly and at a moderate speed. Using polite expressions such as please, thank you, and excuse me are expected in most workplaces. Interrupting others is generally discouraged. If you do not understand something, asking for clarification by saying, "Can you repeat that, please?" is appropriate and professional. What is speaking etiquette in group meetings? In meetings and group discussions, arriving on time is very important. Allow others to finish speaking before sharing your ideas. Keep your comments brief, clear, and relevant. For virtual meetings, ensure your microphone is muted when you are not speaking and that you are in a quiet, professional environment. I would also recommend that you mute your microphone before joining the call. Email etiquette. Email is a common form of professional communication in Canada. It is appropriate for sending documents, following up after meetings or interviews, and sharing non-urgent information. Emails should not be used for urgent matters or emotional conversations, which are better handled by phone or in person. And when we suggest that you not use the email for urgent messages or emotional conversation, we mean your work email, not your personal email. What are the do's of writing your message in an email etiquette? A professional email should be well structured and easy to read. Begin with a polite greeting followed by a brief explanation of the purpose of your message. Use short paragraphs and clear language. End your email with a courteous closing and include your name and contact information. Most workplaces have an email signature that you will be required to use as part of your work email. What does it mean to have a professional tone? Maintaining a professional tone is extremely essential. By using simple and respectful language and avoiding slang or informal abbreviations, we can ensure that we are polite and respectful. Whenever possible, also avoid writing in capital letters, as that can sometimes appear aggressive. We also recommend that you respond to emails within 24 to 48 hours. Phone etiquette. When answering a phone call, especially a professional phone call, begin with a polite greeting and clearly state your name. Speak slowly and clearly to ensure understanding. If you miss a call, return it as soon as possible. If you have difficulty hearing or understanding the caller, politely ask them to repeat the information or send that information in writing. Voicemail etiquette. A professional voicemail greeting should include your name and a request for the caller to leave a message. When leaving a voicemail, clearly state your name, the reason for your call, and your phone number. Repeating your phone number helps ensure accurate communication. As well, when you have to set up your own voicemail, ensure that your request for message is also clear. Saying something like, "Hello, you've reached blank. I can't take your call right now. Please leave your name, number, and a short message, and I will call you right back," ensures that you are being as polite and professional as possible. Text and messaging etiquette. Text messaging may be used in professional settings for brief and practical communication. This text and messaging etiquette also applies not just to phone conversations, but also to Slack messages, Teams messages. It is appropriate for confirming appointments or providing short updates. Text messages should remain polite and professional. Avoid abbreviations and informal language, especially when communicating with employers or supervisors. Some other things to note include keeping messages short and polite, avoiding the use of abbreviations such as you, please, K, as you can see on the screen, and also ensuring that your messaging hours are business hours. Do not message very late or very early. Workplace courtesy and nonverbal etiquette. So, moving on to the second part of this presentation, we will talk about what is workplace courtesy. It's a very important aspect and part of professional communication. Arriving on time, meeting deadlines, following through on commitments demonstrate reliability. Greeting coworkers and respecting personal space contribute to a positive workplace culture. Keeping mobile phones silent during meetings is also considered professional. In a Canadian workplace, soft skills such as these that make you a better coworker, a better employee, are highly valued, are equally as valued as technical skills. Nonverbal communication. Nonverbal communication includes body language, facial expressions, and eye contact. Appropriate eye contact shows engagement and attention. Maintaining a comfortable distance is also an important aspect in Canadian workplaces. Avoid crossing your arms or using your phone while others are speaking, as this may be perceived as disrespectful. Now, moving on to cultural differences. Canadian workplaces are generally polite and indirect. That is the communication values prioritized in Canadian workplaces. Engaging in small talk, such as discussing the weather or weekend plans, is common and helps build rapport. Being too blunt, being harsh, being extremely direct is generally not considered very polite. Apologizing is also often used to maintain positive interactions and is not considered a weakness. Assertive communication is acceptable, while aggressive communication is discouraged. You can be firm without being rude. Now, what are some common mistakes and how can we avoid them? One of the most common mistakes include writing overly long emails. We recommend keep them short and concise. If a discussion does warrant a lengthy conversation, have that meeting in person. Mistake Another one is not asking questions when confused. Clarify politely. It is okay to ask questions in a Canadian workplace. It does not reflect badly. Lastly, not returning messages. In Canadian workplaces, messages must be replied to within 1 to 2 business days. These issues can generally be avoided by keeping communication clear, polite, and timely. When unsure what to do, it is appropriate to ask for clarification or guidance. What are some of the things that we can take away from this presentation? To summarize, professional communication involves clarity, respect, and consistency. Using proper structure in emails and voicemails, maintaining a professional tone, and respecting time and personal space are essential skills. Strong communication supports career successes and long-term professional growth. Thank you so much for watching this presentation on professional communication etiquette. If you have any questions, you're more than welcome to reach out to employment@mcf.nb.ca. Thank you so much.